Most YouTube channels chase views. They chase the algorithm, the likes, the subscribers. This one doesn't. This channel exists for a much simpler reason. One day, years from now, these videos and journal pages may be the only footprints I leave behind at the places I walked, the mornings I watched the fog roll through the trees, and the quiet thoughts that filled the spaces in between. This isn't a content channel. It's a record of life. I've been thinking lately about this channel and what it really is. If you spend much time on YouTube, you know how most channels work. There's a schedule. Upload every week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Everything revolves around views, likes, subscribers, and the algorithm. And there's nothing wrong with that. For a lot of people, that's their work, their craft, their livelihood. That's never really been what this channel is about. Worn paths and written pages isn't a production schedule. It's more like a record, a quiet journal, a way for me to document pieces of my life as they happen. Sometimes that means a walk through the woods. Sometimes it's a hike somewhere in the mountains here in Oregon. Sometimes it's just a quiet morning with a cup of coffee and a pen in my hand. This channel was never meant to be fast. It was meant to be real. And the truth is, I don't get out as often as I'd like. Life has a way of slowing things down. Responsibilities, work, health, the normal things that come with getting older. There are days when the idea of long hikes sound wonderful, but the body has other plans. So the adventures don't happen every week. Sometimes they don't happen for a while. And when I do get out, sometimes I don't even bring the cameras. Anyone who's made videos knows it's not just walking out the door with a camera. There's the gear, the planning, the filming, and then hours of editing afterwards. And sometimes I just want to be there, to walk the trail without thinking about angles or shots. To sit by a stream without setting up a tripod, just to experience the moment for what it is. So when videos appear on this channel, they happen when they happen. No schedule, no pressure, just moments that felt worth remembering. You might notice that sometimes there are long gaps between videos, but I'm still here, because writing has always been a big part of this journey for me. A lot of what I do ends up in my journals. Sometimes those pages become posts on the community page here on the channel. Just small reflections, thoughts from a morning, things I notice while walking outside, memories that come back while sitting with a cup of coffee. But not everything I write finds its way online. Some things stay in the journal, and that's intentional. A journal is a strange and wonderful thing. It's both a record of your life and a private conversation with yourself. Some pages are meant to be shared. Others are meant to stay quietly between the pages. And those pages mean a lot to me. More than I probably ever realized when I first started writing them. Because the truth is, none of us really knows how long we get here. One of the things I've thought about more as the years go by is that if something ever happened to me, I hope my wife Jackie would have those journals. Something she could sit down with someday and read through the moments that made up this life. The small adventures, the quiet mornings, the thoughts I had when the world slowed down enough to write them. In a way, those pages are like footprints, proof that I was here, that these days happen. Health has made some things harder for me over the years. Getting out for long hikes or big adventures isn't always as easy as it once was. There are days when the spirit is willing, but the body reminds you to slow down. So the trails are shorter now, the walks are slower, and sometimes the adventure is simply stepping outside and watching the fog lift off the trees and the mountains. But in a strange way, slowing down has made me appreciate those moments even more. When you can't do something as often as you used to, every time you get the chance becomes a little more meaningful. So when I do make it out there, when I find myself on a trail or sitting somewhere quiet with the camera, those are the moments that become videos. Not because they were planned, but because they felt worth remembering. And if you happen to watch them, if you happen to walk those paths with me for a few minutes, then I'm glad you're here. But this channel was never meant to chase numbers. It was meant to leave a trail. A few stories, a few quiet mornings, a few worn paths, and a few written pages. Because in the end, none of us really know how many paths we get to walk. But if these pages and these videos remain after I'm gone, then at least a few of my footsteps will still be out there, somewhere on the trail.